Top of the morning to you. I'd like to welcome all the digital learners out there today. Come to learn a little bit economy from Mr. Cruz. So without further ado, here he is, the bringer of luck, the slinger of charms, that old devil, Mr. Cruz. Why, thank you very much. Alright, so today we're going to learn a little bit about a command economy. Alright, so command economy is a system in which the government answers the four fundamental economic questions, and we previously talked about those. Basically, the what's getting produced, how it's getting produced, how much is getting produced, and who gets what is produced. Well, the government answers those in a command economy. It's also sometimes referred to as a planned economy. It's an economic system that is ran by the government. They plan out everything. They decide, you're going to make this, you're going to make this, so-and-so is going to go work here, you're going to pay them this much money. So they answer all of these questions for the economy. Also, the government owns most of the resources for production. Remember, we talked about in a free market economy that everything is privately owned. Well, in a command economy, most of it is owned by the government, and they make the decisions for all of it. Their economic goals are equality. They want everything to be equal, everybody to have the same of everything. Security. They want people not to have to worry about the economy going to a collapse because they regulate everything. There's no highs, there's no lows. It's pretty, secure based on the free market, comparative to the free market system. Now, there are some ups and downs, but they're nowhere near as dramatic as within a free market system. And then freedom from need. They don't want anybody to need. So they think everybody's going to need, so much bread. So, they set up so many places to make this much bread. So, and then they say that they allocate it out to say you only get 2 loaves of bread a month. And so they know how many people live there. They know basically what it's going to be to make 2 loaves of bread a month per person. So they set that up as their production quotas for the bakeries. And they do this for everything. Shoes, and everything. They set that up. Now, there are some problems that come along with that. We'll discuss that a little later. A system that advocates, socialism usually goes hand in hand with this command economy because of the whole equality. Okay, is a system that advocates equality of wealth. This is what people argue that the new administration in our country is trying to do, is take us to a system of socialism. They want to take money from the top and give it to the bottom to help balance everything out, to make everything more equal. Now, is this a great way to do things? Well, it all really depends on where you're coming from. If you're on the bottom and you're getting a lot of this stuff from up top, well, then it's great. If you're up top and they're taking a bunch of your stuff just to give it away, then you're thinking this is not so great. And ownership by the community, and the government is the community. So that's, you see here where government owns most of the resources of production. Well, that is ownership by the community. The government is ran by the community, and therefore it represents the community. 2 known places that all this exists: North Korea and Cuba. And you can see Cuba up here. Cuba's that island that we don't have trade with right south of the United States. North Korea is the ones that we tend to have problems with over in Asia. The government's job is they assign production goals to producers. They allocate resources to producers. They set the prices for consumers. They decide where people work. They set wages for workers. They sell goods and services. And then they decide who gets what and how much. Just like I told you. Okay, so they assign production goals. So they'll tell that baker, hey, you need to make, let's just use reasonable numbers. Let's say there's 1,000 people. You need to make 2 loaves for every person for a month. So you need to make 2,000 loaves of bread this month. We're going to allocate you the resources to do it. We're going to give you the flour, the eggs, the milk, or whatever you need. We're going to allocate that just enough for you to make this production goal. We're going to give you those resources to do that. Then we're going to set the prices for consumers. We're going to say, okay, well, you can get 2 loaves of bread, but we're going to say they're going to be $10 a piece. And they tell people where they work. They send people from, okay, hey, we need more people at the shoe factory. So they're going to send them to the shoe factory. Or we need more people at the Schnizzlebazel factory. And so you get moved from the shoe factory to the Schnizzlebazel factory. They set wages. They decide how much people are going to get paid. And, everybody gets paid that. Now, they might have different levels, whereas, if you're in the entry level, like you're just working at the regular part of the factory, well, you might make $5 an hour. If you're working at the middle management, you might make $7 an hour. And if you're working, in upper management, you might make $10 an hour. Okay, so they can have various levels, but they just set the wages for everyone. They sell the goods and services to the people, and they decide who gets what and how much. Like I said, they're telling everybody you only get 2 loaves of bread. It's still going to cost you money, but you're going to get the 2 loaves of bread. Command system has an extra player in the game that the free market system doesn't have. Besides the producers and consumers, they have the planners. The planners are the players who issue the commands. These are people who work for the government. They're the ones who answer all these questions for the government. They lay everything out. They look at all these models, look at what's in need, look what people are going to need, look what's in what they have excess of, what's in demand. So they look at all these different things, and they plan out what needs to be made by who and who needs what. So this is kind of how the command model works. From here, from the home, labor goes to the factories and to the government. Your purchases and wages money goes back and forth from the government to the home and back, because as you purchase things, it goes to the government and they pay you in wages. Well, the labor is inputted into the factory as well from the home. Well, the commands and the land and capital, the other 2 factors of production, are sent from the government to the factory, and then out comes the goods and services, which are sent back to the government, and then they send those out to the home. Okay. So you see, everything pretty much runs through the government in this model. The only thing that doesn't is the labor, and actually if this was drawn, you could draw it to where the labor actually goes into the government and the government sends it over here. So everything is regulated and run by the government. Alright, until next time, when we will talk about mixed economies. Until then, deuces!